I love a red bush. I love a red bush. You shouldn't ever have black coffee to wake up because it makes you like a cuckoo diva, but I guess that's what I am. Up north, we're enemies. Down south, we're allies. Is it a good idea? It's probably not a good idea. And then you get back and you're like, oh wait, we're geniuses. And then hit publish. Hello, I'm Tom Rasmussen and I'm a musician. And this is my cup of tea with Abbey Road. So cool. Okay, I'm gonna riff. What's this? Is this Yorkshire? Up north, we're enemies. Down south, we're allies. So I'm from Lancashire. So I'm gonna choose a red mug. I think quite gorge. I've got one of these at home. I've actually got two. One that I purchased as a fan, and then one that I was gifted by Abbey Road when we did a session here years ago. How chic. Anyway, hot water is crucial, I think, for tea. Don't know if anyone's tried that ever, but I think it's my little tip. Just hot water. It's gonna be cow's milk. I actually used to work on a dairy farm when I was young, because I trained to be a vet. So in the summers, you had to do like all this different work experience, and it was very interesting and eye-opening.
What about an absolute no-no? What is the absolute...
Weak tea. Will not do weak tea. If I'm hungover on a Sunday, a sugary tea, watching some sort of like dystopian end of the world film, be like, oh, it could be worse. It's almost that right now, but it could be worse. Do you know what I mean? I was never into those like, you know, people who leave the tea bag on the side. No, absolutely not. That looks quite dark, but it's actually going to be quite a special cup of tea, I think. I'm a northerner and I know. When we were young, there was a lot of us in my house. So when we were young, like one person would ask for tea and then you'd go in and make the tea, and then slowly you'd have like nine tea orders, and it was like everyone had really particular, like sister liked it like watery, milky with sugar, and dad was like strong 30 seconds. Then you used to have to like make the tea bag go to the bottom and then do this. And like, it was ridiculous. Anyway, so everyone has specific teas, but I'm about to make the perfect one. Yeah, you got, look at that, look at that. What colour would you call that?
Brown.
Yeah, all right. No, that's brown. That's like pine, deep pine. It's that colour. Literally a deep pine.
Do you ever feel drawn to a red bush?
I love a red bush. I love a red bush. Yeah. The tea is nice, actually. Yeah, quite more on the vanilla-y side, am I right? Yeah. I love a red bush. Yeah. Love.
So, what would you choose?
2 pink wafers, 2 of these figgy rolls, stunning. Maybe 1 plain daige, 1 bob, 2 custard cream. This would be to take in for the fam, but I could definitely get through all this. Ginger nut, gotta take both of them. I'm a biscuit girl. I could take or leave the Jaffa cake. That is not with the tea. You can't dip that. The jelly gets concerning in a hot drink. What's that about? That is more 5 p.m. running out the door, irresponsibly not having dinner, like 15 Jaffa cakes in, but that is like, that's a tea service. That particularly is like absolutely outrageous. Oh. That is bad. Yeah, pink wafer. I wouldn't dunk a wafer, that's a shock. I'd dunk a digestive or a rich tea. I'd dunk a custard cream.
So when you're writing or you're making music, what does the break look like? How long is it? What do you do?
If you're like definitely want to finish something, then there's no breaks really, which is quite fun. And by the end, you sort of step off this, like where you sit, and you're like, oh my God, it's just like covered in empty cups and empty bottles of wine and stuff like that. No, actually, not. I can't really write when I'm drunk. But a break on like a writing day would be like a really long wander to the coffee shop. Being like, is it a good idea? It's probably not a good idea. And then you get back and you're like, oh wait, we're geniuses. And then hit publish. You know, I'll write something that I think is absolutely amazing, or like absolutely exactly what I want to say, and then I'll like go home and like play it to my partner, and then I'll be like, oh, it doesn't, when you like bring it out of the world you made it in, sometimes it translates really well, and like even better than you'd imagine, sometimes it doesn't. To me, coffee is more like a Kickstarter, and tea is more a relaxation thing really, isn't it? Would everyone agree with that? But some people have tea to wake up. Do you have tea to wake up? I read all this like crazy stuff that's like, you shouldn't ever have black coffee to wake up because it makes you like a cuckoo diva, but I guess that's what I am, which is fine by me. I always have a 3 o'clock coffee. It's like, it's weird it gets 3 o'clock. Even if I'm like on a different time zone and it's 3 o'clock, I'm like, it's just, yeah, probably addiction, I guess. Caffeine addiction. I always have a cake. I always say I'm not going to have a cake at 3 today, and then I do have a full, this humongous sized cake. And actually there's a deli down the road from here that does a spinach and coconut cake, and it's absolutely unreal. So you want me to make a jingle?
Definitely, and if you could do that, that would be amazing.
Okay, let's go. Well, she's... Oh, yeah. I'm gonna show myself up not knowing. Okay. My cup of tea. With Abbey Road. Yo, amazing. Stream that everywhere now. Let me start again, because should I love tea? I don't love tea. It gives me heartburn. Do you know what I mean? It does. Does it give anyone else heartburn? Does it give you heartburn? No. Should I love tea? Do you think I should love tea for this video?